Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. What is up, loyal royals? So in this video I'm going to be doing a medium full set with a nail prep, of course, and a snakeskin design after. So we need to really talk about these nails, okay? So my client was very desperate to get in, so she kind of soaked her nails off and then she just pulled them off. But I've been very busy, and so my client could not get in right away. And I'm going to pinpoint some spots on her nails. And this is not for me. This is from the place that she went previously because she could not get into me. So right now I'm just starting off by shaping her nails. And then I'm pointing right here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is called a ring of fire. So that is when the nail is filed so thin that it starts to get to the actual thin layer of the nail plate. So that's why it's like very red and it looks inflamed. Multiple fingers were like this. So this is something that I feel like a lot of nail techs do not talk about, because this is the sad truth about nail drills. They can be very dangerous if you overuse them or just don't care about the quality of your client's nails. So I did my very best to prep the nails without, one, making those spots even worse, and two, making my client uncomfortable. So her nails were red in certain spots because the nail was filed so much that it was thinning the nail out. So this is what will happen when you are prepping or when you are doing the cuticle sealing. If you continue to file and file and file in the same spot, it will get thinner and thinner, okay? This happens with any drill bit. If you continue to go over that spot over and over, it's gonna thin the nail out. So what happened is she went in to get a fill at another location, I don't know where, and instead of them, like, this pinky on the end is really bad, that's really bad, like, it's just a mess. And I'm gonna try to talk through this and explain, okay? She went in for a fill and they filed off the gel color, and then their way of prepping was by using a coarse sanding band. So it was probably an 80 grit, which you don't really need an 80 grit. You need medium to fine. That'll do. I'm doing the cuticle right here. So what they did was they removed the gel polish and they went ahead and prepped the nail, but instead of just prepping it to where the shine is no longer removed, they prepped it to where the nail was going to be even with the acrylic. So yes, you do want to debulk when you're taking off the gel polish, but you do not have to make the natural nail as thin as what the acrylic is, and I feel like that's what they did. So when it came down to it, once they started after they were finished, when they went in with the cuticle bit to seal the cuticles after the acrylic was laid, I really feel like that they sealed too much and they just kept going and kept going and kept going, which caused those rings of fire. So as you see here, I am prepping the nail, but you will still be able to see the red spots because I'm not trying to make those spots worse. Yes, it is okay to put acrylics back on, but what I do is, if they are still a little shiny, I would just dehydrate. I will not keep filing and filing to make the redness go away. Those spots are going to be red, and I also explained to my client that what will happen is, because those rings of fire spots are there, those spots are going to be prone to breaking. So if you saw on the other hand, it was the middle nail, she had a spot that was so far back to the cuticle. So that means that when that nail grows out, unless she's being very harsh and she's not being careful and getting her fills when she's supposed to, that nail can be prone to breaking. I stress this with you guys all the time. When you are doing filing, you need to make sure you are being very careful, because you can truly damage someone's nails if you don't know what you're doing. So right here, I'm going in with the cuticle nippers. I went ahead and slowed it down for you guys so you can see exactly what I was nipping. When I use the cuticle bit to push the cuticles up, and then I etch the nail plate with the sanding band, which is a Pana sanding band medium, I kind of like pushed up that extra skin in the cuticle. So now it's just easier for me to clip. And it may look like I'm pulling it. I'm not pulling it. What I'm doing is I'm nipping it. I'm like cutting it. And then because of the way I pull away once I'm done cutting, as you see, I pull to the right after I actually cut it. It lifts up on its own. But even with this, you want to be very careful. You only want to cut what is visible. I do not do overboard. My clients know that. I get what is visible, and then they are to go home and moisturize and all of that. But I am not the type of person who's going to do all of that extra cutting, because you can damage someone then. You can hurt them, get too close to their skin. So yeah, do this as you wish. If you are not comfortable with cuticle nipping, do not do it. Unless you have full practice and you know that you are comfortable and you can handle the nippers and know when to stop and know how far to go, do not do it. Okay, so now I'm going in with my Marie Nails extra long C-curve tips. I really do like these tips. I approve these tips. I do have some similar if I was to run out. But yeah, so because of the way my clients' nails are shaped, I'm going in and just kind of filing the sides, and I like to cut off a little bit of the extra just so that they fit perfectly. So here's a nail tip hack, so pay attention. As you look at my glue, I'm using Macart glue, correct? Yes. At the bottom, I have a coin. Typically, I would use a penny, but I didn't have one near. I had a nickel. So I put a little bit of glue on the bottom, use the nickel. So now my glue does not get stuck to anything, and it's always standing straight up. You're welcome. Here's another pro tip to make sure that your nails is always the same length. You can use a nail form, whichever one you feel like would match how you want your tip length to be. You use that for every nail, and then you cut it in the same exact spot. So now I am using my little gold scissors, and I am cutting the sides a little triangle off just a little bit to get that perfect coffin shape. So then when I file, I don't have a lot of work to do. I just can file, and then I'll shape quicker. I don't like to hand file everything, only because it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot on my wrist. So I rather kind of pre-cut the shape with scissors and then file like I'm doing now. So for coffin, you want to start out by making sure that the free edge is even with the rest of the nail, and then you want to come in at an angle. probably I want to say almost a full 90 degree, but a little less, I guess 80. And then you want to file until you get the desired look that you are going for. I like to do more of a square coffin shape on my clients, especially if I know that they're rough, or I try to match the nail tip with their real nail. So if their real nail is not naturally skinny, I'm not going to make a skinny coffin. I'm going to match the nail tip as much as I can with the natural fingernail. And I'm also using Pana 80 grit files. So, normally I would use Young Nail Swipe, but instead I am currently using a little bit of acetone and a little bit of 90% alcohol. It works just as good, and I really don't think I've been getting any lifting because of it. Next, I'm going to go in with my Young Nails Protein Bond, and remember I like to apply my bond or my primer when the acrylic I like to apply my acrylic when the primer is wet, so I will do one hand at a time, go in with the bonder, and then immediately go in with the acrylic. So typically my first bead is pretty big, and I use it to also create my apex. So it goes at the tip of the free edge where the tip meets the nail, and then I am feathering it down and taking the excess off with the back of my brush. And then my next bead will go in the cuticle area. If I feel like I want more of a hump, I will add another bead right on top of that free edge area and brush it down. But if it looks pretty good, I will just do the 2 bead method. Sorry, I am not in frame right here. And a lot of you guys were asking me, typically I like a sheer natural color. So I make my own clear pink color because I never can find the correct shade that I am looking for, and hopefully I can try to get this in store or sold or something like that within the next couple of months. But I make my own formula, and I'm currently trying to find a company who can make that same formula for me. But to get this color in particular, I took Young Nails Natural and C&D Intense Pink and mixed it together. So it has that natural pink clear look, if that makes sense. I want to point out also, you need to get very familiar with your brush. You should know where the tip is, where the body is, and how to be very light when you are using it. A lot of times we mess up with applying acrylic because we are so heavy-handed. You need to be as light as a feather. Patting motions, if anything. You don't have to brush down 24/7. And if you can, figure out what feathering is. Feathering is when you are pulling the acrylic down without wiping it off. So learn your brush. Figure out the size brush that you are comfortable with. I always use a size 12 or 14, but typically it's a 14. And do not feel like you have to be so heavy-handed. Apply your acrylic, let it sit for a second. Hold that finger down so it's not spilling all over the cuticle, and slightly feather the sides until you get it to the tip of the nail, and use the body of your brush, or the belly, some people call it the belly of your brush, to remove the excess from the tip. You got this. You can get it done, but you need to understand how to be light-handed and to understand your brush. So of course I had to show you guys how crispy this shape is after I reshaped after applying acrylic. And yes, talk about clean, crispy clean. So of course I'm gonna keep filing on the opposite hand and then go from there. But how you guys been? I hope you guys have been doing good. Have you achieved anything? Have you been practicing nails? Is anybody freshly getting their nail license? What's going on? Drop in the comments below and tell me what's up with you guys. So far I have been doing very, very good. Just been working to stay focused, and I got some new things happening for you guys in June. So please, please, please stick around, turn on your post notifications, because I have a huge surprise for you, and I might even have a surprise giveaway also because of that surprise. Hopefully that made sense. But yes, drop in the comments, let me know what you guys are doing, and yeah, continue watching this video. Alright, so now I'm carefully cleaning these cuticles and making the rest of the nail kind of like flush and blended with my fine flathead bit. I don't even know what to call that. I'm sorry guys, I'm having a brain fart. But my speed is probably like a medium to high speed. And I don't know if you guys know, but I use the Melody Susie nail drill. If you want to see a review on that, I will have it as the next video. But yeah, so I am carefully checking those cuticles, and I am also checking the tip of the nail, making sure it is nice and even with a great C curve. So after I have buffed and cleansed the nail, I'm going in with my Macart nail foil glue, and I am going to be only doing half of the nail. So I'm going to strategically place this foil glue on half of each nail. Then I'm going to let it dry for 30 seconds and then apply the foil. After all of the foil is applied, I go ahead and use my Valentino gel top coat, and I am going in with a very thin coat, but making sure that that foil is sealed. And then after that, I'm going to apply some bling using Zule bling adhesive, and then that is it. Just want to point out also that all of my bling is typically from Blue Strix Crystals or Dreamtime Creations. I highly recommend. Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to turn on those post notifications and check the description box for all info for this video. Alright guys, don't forget, glitter makes everything better, so keep shining. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.